Study Session 12, The Institutions for Political Interactions, Political Party and Pressure Groups. Introduction. In the last study session, we highlighted and discussed some of the major instrumentalities of the state. I want you to know that the understanding of the operation and functions of these formal institutions of the state is not complete without adequate knowledge of the nature of the informal institutions of politics. The operations of the latter affect the functioning of the former. In this study session, we shall make attempts to define political parties and pressure groups as institutions of political interaction. Also, the major features, types, and functions of these institutions shall be outlined in this study session. Learning outcome. When you have studied this study session, you should be able to define political parties and pressure groups as institutions for political interactions. Explain the major features of political party and pressure groups. Outline functions of these institutions as instruments for political interactions, and differentiate between political party and pressure groups. Political parties. Many scholars have attempted to define political parties as institutions of political interaction. Not unlike concepts in political science, there is no consensus on the meaning of political parties. Generally speaking, a political party is an organized group of like-minded persons seeking to take control of government through constitutional means. Let us consider some of the definitions given by scholars. According to Edmund Burke, a political party is a body of men united for promoting their joint endeavor in national interest upon some particular principle in which they are all agreed. Teken Atamuno sees it as an organist group that either strives for self-government or contests election on a competitive basis in order to influence and control the personnel and policy of government. Richard Rose conceives political party as an organization of voluntary membership with ease of entry or acceptance and exit or withdrawal, concerned with the expression of popular preferences and contesting control of chief policy-making offices of government. Features of political party. Political parties have the following characteristics. 1. Adoption of a manifesto. Political parties usually have a manifesto, which is a document listing their intentions, aspirations, and objectives. 2. Existence of manifest and permanent organization at the national and local levels. They usually organize membership to reach all nooks and crannies of the country by establishing their secretariats at the national and subnational levels. 3. Self-conscious determination to capture power and hold power of decision-making alone or in coalition. The main objectives of political parties are to contest elections, win and form government through constitutional means. 4. Capacity to strive for political education to elicit popular support. Political parties usually attempt to show that they are loyal to the electorate and will serve their interest if voted into power. Thus, they seek for the support of the electorate through political enlightenment. 5. Alignment to a political ideology. Political parties usually tend to align with a major socio-economic political ideology, such as socialism, capitalism, liberalism, conservatism, which guides their members' actions, especially when they come to power. 6. Political symbols for identification. For easy identification by their supporters, political parties usually have party logos, badges, signs, and anthems as political symbols. Functions of a political party. Political parties perform the following functions. 1. Representation. Ability to articulate the views of the electorate and capture it in campaign platforms. Political parties help to bring together and represent differing interests and opinions of a large number of people. 2. Elite formation and recruitment. It is through the parties that leaders are selected by the people through election. Parties also provide training ground for politicians by equipping them with skills, knowledge, and experience. 3. Goal formation. Party platforms are used to set collective goal that captures the interests of the various groups that make up the electorate. 4. Interest articulation and aggregation. Parties provide platform for the various groups in society to express their interests as well as aggregate, that is, combine, the various interests of the groups within the society. 5. Socialization and mobilization. In their bid to elicit popular support, parties engage in political education and socialization of the people as issues they bring up set political agenda that make profound impression on the citizens, thus shaping their political culture. They help to disseminate information on government policies to the people, especially when they are in power. Through effective mobilization, political parties help to arouse the interest of the electorate towards participation in political activities such as elections. 6. Organization of government. Parties make it easy to constitute a government. They give government stability, foster cooperation among the arms of government, and help to create an environment of competition for political positions. 7. Forum for National Unity and Integration. Political parties serve as a forum for national unity and integration by bringing together people from different cultural, ethnic, religious, and professional groups. 8. Policy formulation. It is important for you to note that the manifestos of political parties serve as a ready source from which government policies can be formulated. 9. Checking government excesses. Members of political parties outside the government usually serve as the opposition and often act as checks of government excesses. It is important to point out that there are different types of political parties. They include mass parties, elite parties, personality parties, and religious parties, among others. The mass parties are those whose membership is drawn from all segments of society. For example, People's Party, Labour Party, etc. An elite party is also referred to as cadre party, often comprises only the wealthy, well-educated, professional, and the influential. A party is described as personality party if the guiding spirit and leadership are motivated by a charismatic man or woman. Religious parties are mainly formed by members of a particular religion. Party system. This is the network of relationship through which parties interact and influence the political process. Also, party system denotes the pattern of political parties in a particular country. This may vary according to the number of political parties in the country. Generally speaking, there are three types of party system, namely one-party system, two-party system, and multi or multiple party systems. Each category has its advantages and disadvantages. Let us examine these party systems one after the other. One-party system. This is where only a single party is allowed to exist in a country, often through legislation. Advocates of a single party contend that it promotes unity by bringing together all the varying tendencies under one umbrella for mutual understanding. Therefore, in single-party system, multiple candidates contest elections in constituencies. Single-party system is cheap and inexpensive to operate. However, a single-party system can lead to regimentation of opinion. It is a system that provides no choice of alternative political platform. Most times, single-party system leads to totalitarian regime or dictatorship. Two-party system. These are found in political systems or countries where two main dominant parties exist. That is, USA, Britain, that is before Tony Blair was elected as the Prime Minister, and Nigeria under the Third Republic. Though two main political parties exist, other political parties are not denied participation in the political process. However, those parties remain insignificant to make any meaningful impact in the political landscape of those countries. That is, Britain, we have the Liberal and Socialist parties. In two-party system, independent candidates are allowed to participate after they satisfied a stipulated criteria by the electoral law. Two-party system helps to bring about stability in the polity by stirring and bringing about vibrant opposition and alternative to the ruling party. However, two-party system can make politics a bipolar affair, that is, ruling opposition, which can become dangerous at times. It can as well degenerate into a destructive opposition politics when the opposition group stays out of power over a long period of time. Multi-party system. Multi-party system exists in political systems where more than two political parties are allowed to exist, that is, France, India, Nigeria, South Africa, Ethiopia, etc. It caters for popularity of interest more so in a heterogeneous polity. It encourages diversity of opinion and constructive opposition. It allows for freedom of association and self-expression. Multi-party system gives greater opportunity for the electorate to identify with the political party that reflects their views accurately. Nevertheless, it is prone to instability and ineffective. That is, it is very difficult for one party to win. It makes parliamentary work to drag because of difficulty to reach compromise. Thus, it can weaken a government. Again, a multiple party system weakens the fused executive of the parliamentary system and increases the chances of governmental instability of the parliamentary regime. Pressure groups. These are groups of organized sections of community promoting their own parochial interest by regularly putting pressures on the authorities, that's government or public opinion. This is usually with the objective of securing favorable changes and preventing detrimental policies or decisions of government. Pressure groups are associations of individuals united by a common interest, belief, activity, purpose that seek to achieve its objectives, further its interests, and enhance its status. Existence of pressure group is based on the gradual enthronement of individualism and atmosphere of freedom. This environment of freedom enabled individuals to band into groups in furtherance of such interests. Pressure groups do not seek power, but they influence government to make favorable policies and decisions. Types of pressure groups. Communal groups. These are pressure groups where membership is based on birth rather than recruitment. It is rather embedded in the social fabric. Examples are Ohaneze Ndị Igbo, Arewa People's Congress, Odua People's Congress, Afenifere, and Movement for the Survival of Ogoni People, MOSOP, etc. Institutional groups. These are groups that are part of a machinery of government. Their influence is exerted through the machinery of government. They differ from the others because they do not enjoy autonomy or independence. Examples include bureaucracies, militaries, etc. Associational groups consists of individuals banded together to pursue shared but narrow goals. This type is characterized by voluntary action and existence of common interests. Examples are Nigeria Bar Association (NBA), Nigeria Medical Association (NMA), Nigeria Union of Teachers (NUT), NASIMA, etc. Anomic groups consists of pressure groups that emerge spontaneously in response to issues and usually extinct after the issue become resolved. Examples are National Actualization of Sovereign State of Biafra, MASO, etc. Channels of exerting influence. Pressure groups exert their influence through the following institutions and mediums. 1. The bureaucracy. 2. The legislature. 3. The courts. 4. Political parties. 5. The mass media. Pressure groups and political parties compared. 1. Pressure groups seek influence from outside, whereas political parties seek to capture power. 2. Pressure groups have narrow issues that are particular to their members, whereas political parties articulate broader interests in order to win elections. 3. Political parties sponsor candidates for election, but pressure groups use other means like aligning with the political party, that is, Labour Party, TUC in Britain. 4. While political parties strive to mobilize a majority of voters to gain power, pressure groups serve to give special representation to minorities. 5. They both contribute to political education but differ in approach. Study session summary. In this study session, We have tried to define political parties and pressure groups as institutions for political interactions. Their functions and types were also discussed. A political party is an organized group of like-minded persons seeking to take control of government through constitutional means, while pressure groups are groups of organized sections of the community promoting their own parochial interests by regularly putting pressures on the authorities, that's government or public opinion. Political parties and pressure groups are significant in terms of the roles they play, particularly in a democracy. There are three types of party systems, namely one-party, two-party, and multi-party systems. Types of pressure groups include anomic, communal constitutional, and associational groups. One of the significant differences between political parties and pressure groups is that the latter seek influence from outside, whereas the former seek to capture power. End of study session 12. Thanks for listening.